On clause 3, Madam Speaker, ma'am, the amendment establishes a parliamentary method for selecting the president. Direct presidential elections have historically bred political tension, violence, and fiscal exhaustion. Electing the president, Madam Speaker, through parliament is a model successfully used by our neighbors in South Africa and Botswana.
Point of order.
I'm going to count 1 up to 3. Whoever is standing is going to walk out of the house. Yes. Honorable Gumbo, may you put yourself to order. I'm going to ask you to leave this house. May you allow Honorable Mureyani to be heard in silence. Everyone was debating and everyone has been given a chance to debate. You are going to get your own chance to air your views. May we have order in this house.
No, she's a drama. Get out.
Order. I want to see Honorable Mureyani only. She's the only one who's supposed to be standing.
Yes.
May we have order?
Yes.
Order. Honorable Makumira, I never asked you to assist me. Honorable Madzivanyika. And now kukukumbira ekuti mundibatsire kucheya. Order, may we have order? Honorable members on my right, may you please take your seats? Honorable members on my left. Order! Honorable Kachwaya, you may leave. Get out. Everyone who is taking, leave the house. Get out. Honorable members on my left, where's our camera? Ngabude mouse. Yes. Ngabude. Honorable Mureyani, you may proceed.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I will repeat myself due to the chaos that was in this house. On clause 3, Madam Speaker, ma'am, the amendment establishes a parliamentary method for selecting the president. Direct presidential elections have historically bred political tension, violence, and fiscal exhaustion. Electing the president, Madam Speaker, through parliament is a model successfully used by our
Point of order.
in South Africa.
Point of order.
It drastically
Point of order.
election.
Order. This, what's your point of order?
We cannot hear properly. There are still people who are standing there. You have made a ruling that if there's a person who's still standing, he should walk out of the room. So I see there are more than 10 people who are still standing on the other side of the house.
I've heard you. You may take your seat. Honorable members on my right, may you allow the honorable member debating to be heard in silence. Honorable Mureyani, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Electing the president, Madam Speaker, through parliament is a model successfully used by our neighbors in South Africa and Botswana. It drastically reduces election costs and fosters harmony between the executive and legislature. If Parliament has the power to impeach, it only makes sense that it has the power to. However, Madam Speaker, ma'am, the clause does not speak on the issue of strengthening accountability mechanisms. The President should be subject to mandatory times of accountability to Parliament. Moving on to the 7-year term, Madam Speaker, ma'am, which is on clause 4, 9, and 10. 5 years is simply too short. Major developmental projects require stability.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Order.
Point of order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order, Honorable Mureyani. What's the point of order, Honorable Kumbo?
Yeah, her time is up.
Honorable Kumbo.
Her time is up.
Order, Honorable Kumbo.
Her time is up.
Honorable Kumbo.
Can you add more 30 minutes?
Order. Honorable 10 minutes. Honorable Kumbo, we are not here to play games.
Yeah, it's not a game.
Yes, I'm not playing games with you. We are here for serious business. May you take back your seat?
Her time is up.
Honorable Kumbo, Makuri Manyanya Kutseka. Honorable Mureyani, you may proceed.
5 years, Madam Speaker, is simply too short. Major developmental projects require stability. A 7-year cycle stops the perpetual campaign mode that slows our economy down every 5 years. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to focus on the repeal of the Gender Commission as proposed by the bill. The repeal of the Gender Commission will lead to gender blindness and violate international obligations like the Beijing Platform for Action. The Zimbabwe Gender Commission only takes up to 0.02% to 0.04% of the national budget. Zimbabwe has been a champion of gender equality in the region due to its constitution. This move would likely result in reputational damage, portraying the country as backsliding on gender equality. Preserving the Zimbabwe Gender Commission ensures dedicated advocacy for gender issues and compliance with both national and international commitments to gender equality and human rights. As a signatory to several international treaties that specifically establish specialized institutions to eliminate discrimination against women and promote gender equality, Zimbabwe has an obligation to continue supporting the existence of an independent body that promotes gender equality and women's empowerment. Madam Speaker, the proposed amendment risks dismantling the progress made towards a gender-just society. Transferring these duties to Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission presents a strategic risk given its already broad and demanding portfolio. The Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission's institutional bandwidth may be stretched too thin to provide the thorough oversight gender reforms demand and which the Gender Commission has been providing. Without a dedicated body, we face the danger of gender blindness, where the specific needs of women and girls are overshadowed by broader human rights concerns. Madam Speaker, ma'am, a merged overworked commission might struggle to meet the independent criteria and address the gender equality issues effectively. Therefore, I strongly recommend that the Zimbabwe Gender Commission remains a standalone institution. I so submit.
Further debate.